I fear that Seth Rogen is falling into that category where he is in these movies and he has his sort of polarizing laugh that to me kind of makes me cringe more than appreciate nowadays. And then in addition to that, he's always, smoking weed, and he is starting to consistently resemble a character that is the pot smoking complainer that is super pessimistic all the time and oftentimes kind of down on his luck. Right. So I fear that that is what's happening to Seth Rogen. All right. Welcome back, everybody. It's Monday, all cops critics. That was brutal. What's up, Brad? What's up, Freddie? How are you guys?
Good, chilling.
Big
Doing
chill.
real good.
Enjoying the
Real
weather.
good.
I know it's a little foggy where you're at.
Little foggy.
Foggy is
Little
an understatement.
smoky.
Yep. However, the companies that produce masks are happy because they are back in style. If you
I
live
did see somebody. I went on my way home from work. I did see a couple people in a car driving with a mask on.
masks are back in style in the state of Michigan for who knows how long. Next couple of days, next couple of weeks. I suppose it's until the Canadians figure it out. I'm sure they will soon. All right. This week we watched The Invite. Brad, we always have you go first. Let's get right into it.
Let's do it. Went and saw the movie Wednesday. Froze my ass off. I did not dress properly. Number one, so it was freezing in the movie theater. I need to bring pants, even though it's 100 degrees outside. But what a great cast. That number one, a great cast. Seth Rogen, Edward Norton, Penelope Cruz, Olivia Wilde. It was awesome. I really, really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was great. I thought it was hilarious. I actually openly laughed at a lot of dry humor parts with Seth Rogen. I thought he was great in the movie. At first when I watched the trailer, I thought, what is this going to be about? You know what I mean? And so obviously the uncomfortable dinner, that was pretty hilarious. And then they get down to it. But, overall, the movie wasn't about a big orgy, but it was more or less about the way people are in a relationship, that been in a relationship for a long time. And for those of you who are in a relationship for a long time, you understand that if you don't have good communication, the relationship can go sideways. And that's kind of what the premise of the movie was, and them not knowing what each other was thinking. And but I thought that each actor played their own specific part really, really well. I thought the dynamic between Ed Norton and Penelope Cruz, I think it was Pina and Hawk, which I loved their name. And I love when he broke down his name and why he was called the Hawk, because obviously Seth Rogen was giving him a hard time with that. Again, great movie. Looked it up on Letterboxd. Letterboxd has it at a 4.1, which I believe I would have to obviously check with you, Nolan, because you're the master of the Letterboxd. But I believe this is the highest ranked Letterboxd movie that we've watched. I don't recall, but I think it's up there. But for me, I have to give this thing a 4.5. I loved it. It was the highest rated movie that we've watched for me personally. I loved it. I thought it was great. I loved the ending, because the ending kind of left you like, did they rekindle? Was that them saying goodbye? But you know me, Fred, they rekindled in the way it ended for me. I'm very curious what you guys thought. I saw Nolan on Saturday night after he saw the movie, and he was very tight-lipped. I love that we don't talk about the movie outside of this podcast. I think that's great. But I'm very curious what you two thought, but I loved it. 4.5. Would I see it again? Not necessarily. It's not one of those movies I'd see again, because you really got it all the first time. Unlike Tuner, the last time I would watch that again, because I feel like I could pick up some more stuff. But no, great movie. 4.5. Loved it.
Love that. And I think you're right. It does, the Letterboxd stuff does fluctuate, because we, for the most part, as of last several weeks, we watch movies pretty early. So then the reviews generally catch up after us, right? So The Invite came out just this last weekend. So we're kind of beating a lot of people to it, or at least the first release. But no, I was tight-lipped at the restaurant, Brad. I had told you that I don't want to ruin the movie for you. I have a couple of comments here. First, leaving the theater, because I went with my Sarah, who accompanies me to a lot of these. We both agreed that this is more a movie for people who are married and have been in marriage before. There was a lot of things that maybe I just can't relate to, that I was I wasn't picking up on, right? And I'm sure you can assume that if you've been married for a while and you have kids, maybe sometimes some things fizzle out, right? That's just to be assumed. But never experienced something like that, never even been close. So it was hard for me to relate to this movie. Again, I do think that it is for a couple a movie that a lot of married couples will be able to really resonate with a little bit more, which will probably lead to them liking it more. My second thing is that I've always, over the last couple of months or years, been a very harsh critic of Jason Segel. I think that Jason Segel plays the same character in no matter what show it is, this sad mope that just like kind of mopes around all the time, I guess, not to use the same word twice. I fear that Seth Rogen is falling into that category where he is in these movies and he has his sort of polarizing laugh that to me kind of makes me cringe more than appreciate nowadays. And then in addition to that, he's always, smoking weed, and he is starting to consistently resemble a character that is the pot smoking complainer that is super pessimistic all the time and oftentimes kind of down on his luck. Right. So I fear that that is what's happening to Seth Rogen. These are comments that I have that sort of blend into maybe my criticisms of the movie. I think that Edward Norton is hands down the best character in this. So I thought he was the funniest. I thought that he did the best job. And I thought that he played the part of being the underlying weird guy that you can really tell that he's got some weird shit going on. But he, obviously kept it pretty tight throughout. And then, of course, it turned out that he was a very strange individual for a multitude of different reasons, including getting pegged. So, that it is what it is. But
the fireman that got
yeah,
pegged.
yeah, the fireman that now gets pegged, which is hate. No hate, like cool. If that's what you're into, great, good for you. We don't shame those things on this podcast. That's for damn sure. But again, this movie was too much about sex for me, and I found it funny at times, but then at other times it was just the same butt of the joke the whole time. So I did enjoy watching it. I was really looking forward to doing so. I think that it is very awkward. It is funny at times. To me, it's just, it's not my cup of tea. With that being said, I do think that people should see it. I think that it's a good movie. 3.5 out of 5.
It's funny. It's funny you say that, and I can relate with what you're saying about you have to be married. Like now,
Yeah.
I've been through a divorce. I've been married. I'm happily married now. I was in a shitty relationship before with no communication. I've learned from my mistakes. My marriage is completely different. My communication is completely different. So 100% can relate with this movie. But it isn't funny because I did go by myself, and it is a weird movie to go to by yourself. I was
Super
thinking that as I'm sitting there by myself, I'm like, And now at first I was the only person in the movie theater. So I was like, whatever. And then I think there was probably a total of 4 or 5 people. I went at 4:00 for $7.50 at Imagine, a little matinee, which I loved the fact that I only paid $7. But then after my popcorn and pop, I'm at $22.50. So I don't know. It's
Wait,
crazy.
what day and time did you go at?
Wednesday at 4:15.
Oh, okay. I was thinking earlier. Still, you just want to go see this movie by yourself Wednesday at 4:15.
I know. You know what's funny is I ran into one of my buddies on the way out who was taking his kid to Moana.
Man.
I hope he sees this and knows that I'm doing it for a podcast because I come out of the bathroom and I was like, hey, what's going on, buddy?
That's good. All right, Freddie, last but not least, what do you think?
Brad's frozen.
All right, there he goes. You're back? All right. I kind of agree with both of you guys on this. I definitely think it was too much dialogue for me in continuously. Like, if they told me that they had to film this during COVID, I would get it. Like, okay, fine. This is, you're the cards you're dealt kind of thing. But you didn't. And it was just one of those dialogue movies, but it was too much, man. Like, too much talking straight without anything in between. Like, it could have been a cool, short film, I think, like a 30-minute thing or a 45-minute thing. But the fact that it was like a real full-length film, it was just, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it. I thought it was a good movie, a good watch. I know exactly what Nolan's saying. Every time I hear the I'm just like, come on, bro. It's just, I cringe a little, and I understand. It's the same shit. I get the whole smoking weed thing because it's a little different nowadays than it was maybe 5-10 years ago when he started, because it's more relevant towards folks our age now. So I'm okay with it now, but yes, he is the stoned guy. Yeah, we get it. And I love that about him. I'm just saying it's just that, he always gets pinned in that role. But like, I'll say this: the cast cool and all that. The one thing I love Penelope. I'll come out and say it. Love
Yeah.
Penelope. The thing is though, not believable to me as a swinger. Just it just, and that's my own. That's me. That's my decision that I'm making. Is now Norton, I think, believable, right? The way he portrayed it. There's no way she's a swinger. In real life, in fake life, in the next life, it's just not. It's just not her bag. Should have got somebody else in that role. Love Penelope. Should have got somebody else in that role. I enjoyed it. I'm right around Nolan. Like I was thinking 3.6, 3.7, and then like I'm like, I don't know, 3.65. I'll put it right in the middle there. Like, but just too much talking in a row without anything else going on. As for the fact of the moral of the story or what is supposed to be portrayed, I do have some thoughts about that. The thing is, I think when you say relatability, and I understand where you're coming from, Nolan, but when I was your age, I could, the things that I went through in life, I had a lot of, my parents were divorced when I was 6 years old. I had a lot of family members that got divorced, a lot of friends that in their 20s were already in that situation. Like, scared the shit out of me, first of all. That's why I didn't get married till I was 43. So I did relate to that whole, like, I was a big advocate for not being in an unhappy married place. Like, and I understand, and I don't have children. So like, I was always like the voice of reason, but like take it with a grain of salt because I can't really tell you how to do what I would do because I don't have kids and I get it. So I know that's tough. I've been involved in a lot of fucking divorces throughout my life. So I get that whole thing. And that's a big issue. Like, that's a huge issue. Like, so that was cool. Like the sex part, yeah, woo. Again, not believable. So it didn't really factor or sway me in any way. Knew they weren't fucking. They weren't like, I knew off the bat when they started talking about it, I was like, yeah, no one's fucking anybody because no one's fucking. Like, so it's just that part was unbelievable, was not relatable or believable to me. But the part of the relationship, yeah. I think we all know a ton of people that go through the stagnant fucking relationships that last forever. And I will say this, and Brad's heard this before, because I've said it on the podcast. If anyone is out there going through something like that, here's a little PSA. There's only two things I need to tell you. The kids will be fine, and everyone deserves to be happy. In closing.
He has said that a lot. I think the reason my score was as high as it was, I loved the banter between Olivia Wilde and Seth Rogen. Like I just thought it was funny, like where she's like buying stuff and like he couldn't relate, or the fact that he didn't want them to come over. And I don't know. I guess maybe I could relate to that being my age or something like that, and just not being in that, like, I don't want to host people kind of mood. So that was extremely funny to me. It was, and the fact that she referenced the podcast, like as soon as she said something, she's like, "Did you get that from a podcast?" Like I thought that was hilarious. Like, go out of the house, come back. He's like, "Start over." He's like, "We're doing the same thing we did when I left the house." That's why I enjoyed the movie so much, because I enjoyed that banter of that like relationship and them both going at it. And I don't know, I was completely entertained to be.
And again, I'll like, I understand that. I like the banter part. I just think it could have been a skit instead of a extended full length movie. Like the banter part after a while got redundant. And I was just like, it was like, you're waiting for something to happen. Like, like, okay, get to it. Like, like go bang Penelope in the closet and you go, with Hawk in the kitchen. Like go do something other than just sit here and bicker. But when it comes to, and Brad knows this, like the whole hosting stuff, that's a pressure situation, like as a couple. And listen, I'll be honest. I've known Brad for a long time now. I may have seen the inside of his house twice. He's been over my house. I can't count, right? We just host a lot, right? So Brad has been over my house. I've cooked for him a million times. I may have seen the inside of his house maybe once. I'm not sure. He just likes me to pick him up outside sometimes, so I don't even go in. So when it comes to things like that, and there are some couples that like to host and some couples that just like to go to hosted houses. That makes any sense. And as you get a little older, Nolan, you're going to understand that you're either going to be the hostee or you're going to be the invitee. Like, like it's one or the other. You can't be both, kind of. And the side that we lean on is the host, and Brad's more of an invitee.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. 100%. In fact, it was when Fred and Mary moved away, it was like, well, this sucks. Now where am I going to like, because they were always my people I'd go out to like dinner with, of like restaurants that like I knew that my wife and I wouldn't go to. Like if Fred would pick the restaurant, I'm like, let's go. You know what I mean? So yes, I was always the invitee. I enjoyed it. I wore sweatpants to Fred's house all the time. I made sure that I was like comfortable. But yeah, that's a great point, Fred. There's the host and the hostee, and that's exactly what it is. And I think that's why I guess I could relate him. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm just not in the mood. I'm not in the mood. I don't want to deal with this.
You got a $40,000 kitchen and you haven't even invited anyone over.
They don't even use the appliances.
We definitely use the hell out of this kitchen. Just,
Next time I'm in town, I got to come in. Actually, I'm coming in the house.
fair enough.
I'm not pulling the, we call it in Jersey, the Bayonne doorbell.
Is when you pull up in front of somebody's house and honk the horn. They call that the Bayonne doorbell. Bayonne is a city in New Jersey, right on the water there, Hudson County, But that's usually how I get in contact with Brad.
The old double honk. When are you coming to Michigan, Freddie?
It looks like mid to late August now.
No, that's soon.
Nice.
It looks like that. I'm like still in the middle of figuring out a closing date, and the folks that are in with us, it's contingent to them selling. They had an offer they thought on the table that didn't happen. They actually just lowered their price, so
We'll see.
just trying to get shit moving. But like we had the inspection done, we already had it done. Like all that stuff's done with on our end. We're waiting for them to get an offer on their house and fucking keep it moving. The pool was another problem though, because the last
offer we had, the folks wanted us to open the pool for them. So we did. It was probably better off we did because it looks better anyway. But they pulled back out of the offer and we never contacted the pool company to go every week or 2 weeks. So we got pictures. I mean, it looked like the reflection pool, basically. It was like we were like
imitating the reflection pool.
All the local ducks are just hanging out.
Frogs, everything. Called United Pool. Shout out to United Pool in Pine Beach. Cleaned it up in 3 straight days. They came, dumped the fucking chemicals in, sparkling blue again. We're back.
It's tough because, for you as stay-at-home husband, you would have had that shit on lock.
Crystal
Dude,
clear.
I skimmed every morning. Every morning I skimmed that damn pool.
One-handed with one of his cigars.
Yeah.
And when I go upstairs to the 22nd floor, I have to force myself not to grab the skimmer, because then I'm like, well, people are going to think like I like live here to work here kind of and clean up and stuff. But
You're like Miyagi.
sometimes there's a little, what happens upstairs is when the wind blows, some of the mulch goes into the pool that's around the stuff. And I just want to get that damn skimmer and just skim a little bit, clean it up a little bit, maybe backwash the filter, like do a little couple things up there. But then I say to myself, you know what? I'm, high-rise living, like I'm working on my tan. I don't have time for that.
They see Freddie skimming the pool, cleaning the filter, talking to the unhoused outside.
Yeah.
Would not be surprised.
The rumor mill will start to
I can't
dropping their laundry off outside your door.
Can't have that. But funny thing is, so I'm in the package room
last week, and I had told Brad about this. You may have heard it on the podcast. Yes, package roulette. So I'm in there, and a kid who lives actually on our floor is in the package room. It's him, his girlfriend, and his mom and dad are visiting. So and it's not a big package area. So like we're all like just standing there, and I see them like, and I said, and they were like, oh, go ahead, and I go, no, go ahead, dude, like do your thing. So the mom says to me, yeah, he just can't find his package. I said, listen, this is what we'll do. I said, close your eyes. I'm going to spin you around a couple times and just pick something. Her and the husband start just dying laughing. And I said the line that I told Brad. I said, yeah, I played package roulette in here. I got a pair of Spanx last week, and they just lose it. Like, now another resident coming into the package room. There's 4 people just dying laughing. This person walks in like, what the fuck? is going on in there. It was like,
I thought
but
for sure you were going to be the lady and be like, "Have you seen my Spanx?"
no, she was busy.
So I wish them luck. Found my package and I kept it moving.
Amen. All right. Well, let's hope that that guy on your floor in the building, in the package room, found his package. That would be good.
Yeah,
Sir.
Navy guy too. Thank him for his service.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, for sure. All right. Any shows this week, gents?
So
I
I
had-
am. I
so-
watched. Go ahead, Fred.
Well, so I'm here for the last couple of weeks entertaining. So we had to get into like some teen dramas, right?
My favorite.
And I told Brad about this. So we found one show called Every Year After. Watch that. Basically, it's a ripoff of The Summer I Turned Pretty. It's almost identical. Like the situations in it are almost identical to it, where it's comical. Like then we got into movies, and I would suggest this. They're both on Prime. There's 2 movies. There's going to be a third one late this year, early next year. It's called My Fault London and Your Fault London. I would watch those 2. Brad, you of all people would love this. It's a combination of The Summer Turns Pretty with Fast and Furious.
Perfect. I watched Cruel Summer on Hulu.
Okay.
I think I might have talked a bit about it on Monday in the podcast. I forgot. I know Nolan is anti Hulu. I also started watching season 3 of The Quarterback. It's Baker Mayfield, Flacco. Why am I having a brain freeze on the other guys that are in there? I forget who else was in there. Oh, that sucks. But I forget them now. But really good. Love it. Jaden Daniels. I know I'm missing one more.
Hawk just came out, right?
So that's my plan. As soon as I get off this, I'm going to pause that. I'm going to watch Hawk tonight. I'm kind of like, look, I'm a Will Ferrell fan, but I'm starting to get that vibe that you guys are getting with the Seth Rogen. And I forget who was the other person that you named, Jason Segel. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. Now, I did not watch the Home Run Derby, but Nolan had put in the group chat something about Will Ferrell. So I'm assuming that he did something obnoxious that annoyed you.
The same shit where he's dressed up as this character and he's like playing as like on one of the desks at the Home Run Derby. And it's like, I get it because Netflix hosted the Home Run Derby.
Yeah.
I think it's a Netflix show. So they wheel him out there. And you're right. I think I just saw this today where Billy Joel recently came out with a quote. I don't know if you guys saw this. He said, older musicians, like older good musicians that keep just recording music are ruining their legacy. It's the same thing these guys are doing.
Yeah,
like, Will Ferrell had a tremendous run. Talladega Nights, right? Whatever the one with the ice skating is, right? Anchorman.
Blades of Steel.
Blades of Glory.
Blades of Steel.
So on.
Blades of
right?
Glory. Blades
All
of
these
Steel was a Nintendo
Step
game.
Brothers. And now it's like, we're just plugging them into this show that everybody's going to watch because it's Will Ferrell. But then like you watch it and you're just like, oof, man, this is kind of tough.
So
let the man rest. Let the man rest.
Do you think that Adam Sandler has rested?
Yeah, Adam Sandler's like, he knows his, I feel like that's what makes it so good. Is like he knows his.
He also has a bigger range.
For sure.
Like the jewelry one.
Uncut Gems.
That was a great movie.
Yeah.
He wasn't Nicky in that. Like,
right.
It was good. That was pretty good. Yeah, he has a different range, and I think he can still do it. And I totally understand about, like, right now I'm having a lot of trouble, and I'm, big Jersey guy, but John Bon Jovi is playing the Garden. I don't know if you guys have seen what he looks like lately. At one point, I thought it was B. Arthur. If you look it up, you'll know what I'm talking about. So, the guy's in great shape. That's the thing. He's in great shape. It's just the fact that I don't know what he's doing with his hair and stuff. It's kind of like Jimmy Carter or B. Arthur, kind of. I thought it was one picture I commented on Instagram, and I thought it was Elizabeth Warren. Like, I'm getting all these weird visuals when I see pictures of him now. So
just a very odd comment coming from a huge Barry Manilow fan.
Well, I mean, Barry's still doing it. He looks great.
Yeah. But I mean, I just looked up John Bon Jovi. He's got like a long-haired comb over, right?
It's really weird. Right.
Yeah. It's like really long, but then it's like combed over. But like it's not like gelled. Like you might be thinking
I mean,
like
first of
gelled.
all,
like,
you give that guy a different haircut and he looks 50.
Probably.
Like That's
Yeah.
the kind of shape that he's in. So I don't understand why he's going with the.
He looks like he just got off a shift as an old nurse.
Fire that guy's hairstyle.
He does kind of look like that. But the Elizabeth Warren comment was crazy. I
Yeah.
don't know. You could have told me that we would run this podcast for 100 episodes. I would be like, Elizabeth Warren will never be mentioned. But apparently she
mean,
finds her way into the crevices of everything. So there you
if
go.
I mean, put him in a pair of scrubs. He walks right in Beaumont. No one asks a fucking word to him.
Question somebody
Right
else.
up to the RN desk. He's giving
Yeah.
vital.
Yeah. All right. Shows for me are pretty simple. My brother and I have this, I don't necessarily say like liking, but we have this fascination with like the Godzilla, King Kong stuff. So when I was visiting him a couple years ago in North Carolina, we started this Apple. And of course, I went back to Apple TV because I picked it as like my one subscription service that I would have. And I, of course, caught some heat from that from some people that just don't know what they're talking about. Like
You did catch some heat on that.
I had somebody text me and tell me that it's Disney Plus because they can pair it with ESPN Plus. I'm like,
Do people
you're not getting the point. Yeah, I'm like, you're not
right.
getting the point. Like, you're just
Right.
not getting it. So, whatever, like, idiots. But I did start the second season of Monarch Legacy of Monsters. So, if you're into that kind of stuff, like it is way far out there, right? Like different worlds, people teleporting from world to world, these giant fucking monsters. It's pretty entertaining and cool if you just like want to see like some
Wait.
cool CGI. But
Is it you or Brad that hates Wyatt Russell?
it's me. And in that
Oh.
movie, he actually plays a better character in that, but he's like half in it though, because he plays a younger version of Kurt Russell, right? So you don't see him as much, but
Okay.
he plays a better character. He doesn't play like the grime or the slimy shithead, even though it's kind of maybe getting to that point. I don't know. I gotta keep watching. But yeah, that would be the only downside to me. But the monsters CGI is super cool. Godzilla, it's great.
Did you, Nolan, now Fred, where you didn't go to the movies, you watched it on service, right?
Yes.
When you went to the movies, did you by chance see a preview for, I don't remember the name of it, but it was something about like dinosaurs running through the city. I caught the like the tail end of that. What was that movie about?
Of course I know that movie. That's the next Anne Hathaway movie that comes out in August.
Yeah.
It's the next new dinosaur movie. So it's awesome because the only dinosaur movies that we've gotten is Jurassic Park, Jurassic World.
Right.
And I forget the guy's name all the time, but RIP to the guy that's in the original Jurassic Parks, right? Like that. Huge loss for the movie world. That guy's awesome. And it's a shame I don't know his name, but rest in peace. It's been Jurassic Park, Jurassic World. This is like a new revelation. But yeah, the premise of the movie is like the city that they're in like moves time for some reason. But yeah, Anne Hathaway's in that.
That's right. That's right. I think that's the part that caught my attention. And then next thing you know, I saw a dinosaur running through the city and I was like,
yeah. It's like through a town. Yeah. But I don't know much of it other than that. But I have seen that a couple of times. Yeah, the trailer for that.
In fact, I do recall being like, I think I better pay attention because I have a feeling I'm going to be watching this very soon.
For sure. Yeah. 100%.
Speaking of very soon, what's our next movie?
Yes. So the next movie that we're going to watch is on a list of probably like people's top 3 movies of the year. Whenever Christopher Nolan steps up to the plate, you gotta go watch and you gotta listen. And hopefully you do it in IMAX. So this week we will be watching The Odyssey. Buckle up, gentlemen. It is 2 hours and what did I say? 2 hours and 40 or 52 minutes?
Yeah.
Right? Is that what I said?
Around
so 2
there.
hours, what?
Around that. Yep.
Yeah, around that. So 2 hours and 50 minutes, give or take. We did look at Letterboxd. It's 4.3 with 57,000 reviews already in. So people are loving it. But again, this is my concern with this movie. Huge marketing, huge box office, huge cast. I think people are just saying that they like it, maybe because they feel as if they should. So we'll see though. Christopher Nolan does a great job. So I think that it'll be awesome. Yeah, we'll see The Odyssey. We'll talk about it next week. You guys got anything else?
All set.
Cool.
Good luck
Throw a
tomorrow.
like, throw a subscribe for us. I'm playing in a week-long golf tournament. Baseball's back for Freddie, and it's damn near 10 o'clock for Brad. So week in, week out, we're going to deliver this for you. But throw us a like, throw us a subscribe. We'll see you next week to talk all about the Addison.
Take care, y'all.
All right, guys.